Okay, here we are with another question which is all about the wave model and specifically frequency and period. Feel free to take a look and then we'll get explaining the answer. Okay, this is an interesting one because I find that students really get confused by the use of minutes here. We generally tend to think about time frames in terms of seconds, and then also just the idea of what frequency really means here. Okay, let's have a think. We're in a boat and the 10 wave crests pass the boat every minute. Okay, now what that means is 10 full waves are passing by in a time period of 1 minute, of 60 seconds. So what you might be tempted to do is turn the time into seconds, etc. But notice here, our answers are all in the form of minutes. We're being asked what the period is, and so we can actually immediately get rid of two answers here. We notice here on B, we've got minutes to the -1, and a similar here on D, minutes to the -1. Now, period cannot be in minutes to the -1. Minutes to the -1 would technically be a unit of frequency because frequency tells us how many per unit time. So we're going to look at one of these answers, A and C, because these have the units which would be relevant to a time period, in other words, minutes. Now, if 10 wave crests passed every minute, we can then say, well, let's work in minutes. We've got frequency of 1 over t. Well, that means our t is 1 over f, and we're getting 10 for every minute. Okay, therefore we can put into our calculation our frequency is 10 per minute. Now what happens there is that 10 stays on the bottom, but the minutes goes up to the top, so therefore we've got 1 over 10 minutes, and so therefore the answer here is A. Okay, now what I think the students find a little bit awkward, as I've said before, is the use of minutes as opposed to seconds, but also just that little bit of manipulation. If we know the number happening every unit time, then all we have to do is flip that on its head, inverse it, and we'll get the time period, which in this case is 1 over 10 minutes.